So, it's Monday, May 20th. The Eurovision Song Contest is over for this year, and I just wanted to make a really short video. I'm going to try and keep it short, about what I thought about basically the contest as a whole this year, the results, yeah, a few random thoughts about that, since I was asked last year to do that and I didn't, so I'm going to try and do it this year. Overall, I was very pleased this year, except with the unusually low level of the lineup generally. I thought the lineup was very weak. There were no really shitty songs, but there were no really good ones either. So yeah, the lineup was weak, and that made it less fun to watch than with the strong lineup with a lot of really good songs, like in 2007, which was my top year so far. But that was not the host's fault, obviously. So, apart from that, which I don't think should count against SVT, who, of course, could only work with what they were given, I thought it was a really good contest this year. I thought the show was very good. It was very well produced. The traditional aspects of it were handled well. The postcards were good. The interval entertainments were really good. The entries themselves were very well produced, and they had done a really good job. Well, they had done a good job with everyone, but maybe should have done a better job dissuading some of the contestants from what they wanted to do. Most especially Ireland, who of course did pretty badly. They got through to the final, which in itself is, you know, it's something. But they came last with only very few points, and I think a big reason for that was, you know, yeah, the song was pretty boring, but most of the songs were boring. So that wasn't really, that can't have been what really killed it for them. I think it was the presentation that just was way too much of everything. So maybe in a few instances, SVT should have persuaded some of the contestants to maybe tone it down a bit. But in a lot of other cases, I think they did a wonderful job creating the presentations for everyone. I want to highlight especially Moldova, who turned out to be my favorite this year. I love their song. I've been listening to it constantly. And I said in my first review, I think, that I hoped they would change their presentation from what they had in their national contest, because in Chisinau it looked really cheap and tacky. But they kept it just almost exactly as it was, but what SVT did with it, SVT being our host, last year's winner, the Swedish national broadcaster, because it isn't Sweden that's competing, and it wasn't Loreen who won. It was her songwriter that won, and it is SVT, the EBU member, is actually hosting the contest. And I think they did a fantastic job of taking this original idea from the Moldovans and creating it with a lot of class, a lot of style, and making it really work. So I think they've done a fantastic job producing for so many different countries, so many different entries, and different stage shows. 12.5, 26 different ones on Saturday. I think they did a wonderful job. The interval entertainments, like I said, they were fun. I think the openings were really good. Some a bit more traditional with choirs and whatnot. And on the second semi, very arty and modern, very good. The interval entertainment on Saturday I thought was fantastic. My friends and I, we just laughed our heads off. I think it's possible that that was much funnier for those of us who know the Swedes than for viewers who don't, but it takes from me, it was really hilarious, even though there may have been jokes you didn't get. For instance, when they had this presentation of Sweden that this old guy gave, about how, for instance, Sweden, they're so equal, and they like to, you know, everyone's equal, everyone has to do their share, where that guy bursted into a meeting and said, Fredrik, the mug hasn't been washed or whatever, the dishes aren't done, and this is the most recent mug used, it says Fredrik, could it be yours? That guy, that Fredrik, is actually their prime minister, who I'm sure will not be interrupted in actual meetings by having to do the dishes, but it was pretty cool. He's a douche, but it was pretty cool of him to do something like that. So yeah, if you know the Swedes, that was hilarious. That whole set of the song, the dance, everything. Petra, the host, or I mean, sorry, the presenter, she had some dresses that weren't perhaps entirely fortunate, but she had some good ones too. She didn't change them as often as we had expected. But that may be to the good. You're less distracted. Overall, we were very happy. My friends and I, we liked the show. I thought it was great. I liked it that they kept it sort of a little bit informal and, you know, kept the humor, made fun of themselves. That's one of the things that I really like about Swedes as an ethnic group. That they have that they don't take themselves too seriously. I like that. As for the results, I was very happy with how well Norway did. We came in 4th, which of course it would have been even better to come in 2nd, because I would not have wanted us to win, because we only won 4 years ago, and I think that's way too soon. And knowing the ridiculous debate we would get if we were to win again this soon, I would just as soon just see us get really good results, but not go all the way. And of course I was very grateful that Azerbaijan did not win, since they also won very recently, and it's way too soon to go back to Baku, even though their entry was maybe, their presentation certainly was probably the best. Their song was absolutely fascinating to watch. I would have almost wanted them to win. Just to see that presentation again. It was, wow, it was so cool. The Danish presentation was a bit more standard, but certainly I say a worthy winner. A very good song, and with a lot of elements coming together to make it a successful entry. I think that the Danes definitely deserved to win, and we were very happy with the vote, that they weren't this obvious winner right from the start, because that's really boring to watch. It's fun if, like in 2009, it was fun that the winner was obvious from like the 3rd country voting, but it was only fun because we were the ones who were winning. So if it had been anyone else, it would have been really boring. It's much more fun, I'm sure you will agree with me, when you don't know, right up until the end, you don't know who's going to win, and there is constantly that tension. But it's crystallized very early among about 5 serious contenders, and it was a great vote to watch. It was entertaining and quite thrilling up until, well, until Montenegro voted, unless my memory fools me. And I think the Danes definitely deserve to win. For those calling plagiarism, there can be no pop songs made in 2013 that don't sound like some other pop songs made in some previous year. There are like 5 chords. You can't make something that sounds like nothing else anyone's ever heard before. So, a worthy winner, definitely. Well performed, well presented, and I am so looking forward to tuning into Copenhagen next year. I'm sure that the Danes will put on a great show, and I hope to see a stronger lineup. But what are you going to do? You get what you get. The most important thing is for all of us, participants and those watching, to have fun, which I think most of us did. I know I had a lot of fun watching Malmö 2013, the Eurovision Song Contest, over now, but in only a year's time, Copenhagen 2014. I'm already looking forward to it.